On the news tonight, traders on Lagos Island seek quick government intervention in curbing incessant unit violence clashes. Plus, concerns over indiscriminate refuse disposal in Lagos. A very good evening to you, and it's good to have you join us on Nta Lagos Channel 10 News at 7. I am Anoluwapo Oluwatoke. Now the news in details. Traders in some parts of Lagos Island have appealed to the Lagos state government to, as a matter of urgency, intervene in the incessant clashes between alleged hoodlums in the areas as these has continued to disrupt peace and commercial activities in the area. The traders made the appeal while speaking with newsmen in Lagos. The reports.
Following the intervention of the State Security Eleko Martins Market Association, condemning totality the persistent alleged violence among members of transport union in the area, leading to bloodshed and loss of life. They lamented that this has continued to disrupt business activities, causing untold hardship on them. They are therefore calling on the state government to intervene so as to rescue their means of livelihood from incessant attack.
For fight that happened yesterday. I have never experienced it since I have been selling in this Lagos, this Idumota. It was really terrible that yesterday.
A part of Lagos Island on Thursday witnessed violence following the clash between a rival transport union group, leading to looting of shops and disruption of other businesses in the area. Normalcy has, however, returned in the area following the intervention of the State Security Agency. In Lagos, Ometere Chiedu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, stakeholders of the All Progressive Congress have raised the frequency consultative engagement towards each free national convention. Saliu Zuanara report that the stakeholders are equally preaching the spirit of sportsmanship among those aspiring for elected national offices.
While party members await the announcement of strategic committees for the February 26, 2022 National Convention, these stakeholders believe that the pre-convention activities should be towards developing ideas in building the party structures ahead of future elections.
And whosoever, the party men and women, the leaders, all of us, sit down and agree that this will be our presidential candidate, I will stand behind that and lead the campaign. And I wanted us to help the president so that he can hand over to an APC man as the president.
To this end, all the party organs, officers, and stakeholders need to work in harmony to consolidate our position as the dominant and ruling party in Nigeria.
We are desirous of building a formidable platform at the forthcoming February 26 National Convention by electing leaders who will sustain active leadership
Dynamics in politics. Women are emerging to break barriers in political terrains, making significant impact that affects them and the society. In this report, Elizabeth Omori takes a look at women in politics and their role in governance since 1999 till date.
Is such a help for young Nigerians to emulate. It's an inspiration for all the more youths who have refused to come into politics to make Nigeria better. Voices representing the thoughts of thousands of women yearning for inclusion in governance. The struggle for political recognition dates back to the 50s. The likes of Margaret People, Haja Gambo Sawaba, and Funmilayo Ransom Kuti made impact on the Nigerian political landscape. 23 years of uninterrupted democracy in the Fourth Republic and still counting. Efforts on to correct gender imbalance in governance, cultural beliefs, discrimination, and lack of finances are major barriers to women's participation in politics.
We need to as mobilizers of the electoral process to ensure our women are voted.
For us to have a better future and a better world, the women must be politically empowered in every sense of it.
The reintroduction of democratic governance in 1999 has facilitated an increase in women inclusiveness, both in elected and appointed offices. The likes of Patricia Ete, Florence Itaviwa, Remi Tinubu, Virgil Itiaba, Linda Ibazu, Grace Banks, Jumoke Akanjide, Patricia Akwashiki, Ngozi Okojo-Iweala, and late Dora Akunyili redefined the political map. Data by UN Women show that progression of women holding ministerial portfolios is considerably low, with just a small increase from 21.3% in 2020 to 21.9% in 2021. Comparatively, women in some countries occupy the role of heads of state in 22 countries, up from 20 countries in 2022. As of 1st of January 2021, 5.9% of elected heads of state, 9 out of 152, and 67% of heads of government, 13 out of 193, are women. Efforts made by various administrations to increase the level of participation of women in politics, in line with the declaration made at the Fourth World Conference on Women in Beijing, which advocated 30% affirmative action, propelled the extant national gender policy in Nigeria, which recommends 35% affirmative action for a more inclusive representation of women. 1999 till date, no woman has been democratically elected president or governor in Nigeria.
Women have been yearning for so much, but if you give them appointment and you're not giving them those rightful positions, those impacts will not be felt. So I feel that yes, we should increase the number, but we should be strategic and deliberate about the positions that will be given to women.
A United Nations report states that women's equal participation and leadership in political and public spheres are essential to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management, Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, has been awarded for excellence in terms of transparency and accountability for leading humanitarian intervention in the country. Ruth Aguele reports that this followed an assessment and investigation by International Human Rights Commission.
To whom much is given, they say much is expected. And it would seem that in the context of leadership and responsibility, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development is blazing the trail, having made transparency and accountability its watchword in the task of lifting millions of Nigerians out of poverty. It is now getting accolades for efforts considered worthy of emulation.
The report we have received from the partner, International Police Corporation, has proven negative of any money diversion linked directly or indirectly to the Honorable Minister. And this has compelled the resolution of our advisory board to honor the Honorable Minister as the first Nigerian most trusted woman in public office.
For the minister, she believes due diligence and consistency.
For us to even be recognized that we're doing well and we'll continue to serve our country in our service to humanity.
In another development, a delegation from the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs is ready to strengthen modalities to enhance cooperation for humanitarian interventions for Nigeria, especially for displaced persons. For the ministry, this partnership will help in providing durable solutions for humanitarian interventions in the country. In Abuja, Ruth Aguela, NTA News.
Marine biodiversity is enormous, and scientists have described it as largely untapped biological riches over the years. However, many nations are beginning to explore the blue economy for sustainable development. Experts say if well explored, marine resources can assist in the economic diversification plan of the nation. How can this be effectively achieved? Annie Daniels reports.
Nigeria sits on the Gulf of Guinea with a coastline of 853 kilometers and landmass of 923,768 square kilometers, 12 nautical miles of territorial waters, 24 nautical miles of contiguous zone, and 200 nautical miles of exclusive economic zones. The nation also has extensive mangroves, creeks, coastal rivers, and other marine resources, including close proximity to the Atlantic Ocean coastline. These features place the country in a strategic position to benefit maximally from marine trade and other aspects of blue economy to further harness the enormous benefits of marine biodiversity. The blue economy has been injected into federal government's economic recovery and growth plan. Although relative success has been recorded, Nigerians say more benefits still needs to be tapped.
Coming up with a lot of programs, development programs, including livelihood programs for coastal communities, making sure that everybody is included, in sustainable livelihood. When I say sustainable livelihood, like the fishermen, for example, training them on how to fish efficiently and effectively, not just taking everything they find at sea, but knowing what to take and what not to take, regulating the use of the marine resources.
Studies by Worldwide Fund International Conservation Group estimates total ocean assets such as coral reefs, mangroves, shipping lanes, and carbon absorption to worth about $24 trillion, about 10 times its annual output. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
You're still watching news at 7 on Nta Lagos Channel 10. More to come after this time out. Please don't go away.
Olodumare, which we all know the Most High, forbids having sexual intercourse with somebody without consent. Our tradition forbids it. What is bad is bad. In Islam, rape is considered a serious sexual crime in Islam, because Islam believe it's not just a religion, it is a total way of life. And Almighty Allah, in His infinite mercy, governed not all other life, also our sexual life. Brothers and sisters, fathers, mother, let us stop rape.
Rape is evil. God is against it. Humanity is against it. Human laws is against it. The Bible says, whoever is being found in the book of Deuteronomy in the act of rape, such a person should be stoned to death. The reason for you being a rapist, I don't know. I'm against it. I stand with NTA Lagos, Channel 10. I stand against rape.
NTA Lagos Channel 10 stands against rape.
As Nigeria joins in the global fight against COVID-19, we must all take responsibility for the health of our loved ones. COVID-19 knows no borders, age, gender, tribe, or state of origin, and most importantly, it has no cure for now. The only way to defeat this unseen enemy is to prevent its spread by obeying the NCDC guidelines on COVID-19. Wear face masks in public places and maintain physical distancing. Wash hands regularly with soap for at least 20 seconds. Do not sneeze or cough into the open air. Instead, use tissue paper or sneeze or cough into your elbow. Generally avoid crowded places. If you develop any symptom, don't wait till it becomes severe. Get tested immediately. Check into an isolation center if you're positive and remain there until you test negative. COVID-19 is real. Let's fight it together.
This message is endorsed by the Broadcasters Guild of Nigeria, BGN.
Glad to have you back. You're still watching news at 7 on Nta Lagos Channel 10. Improper waste disposal has continued to be a serious issue of concern in Lagos. Ometere Chedo, who went around some areas, report that residents are calling on stakeholders to take advantage of the dry season and clear the drainage channels before the rain sets in.
The issue of improper refuse disposal has become a recurring decimal, even with the waste disposal provided by Lagos Waste Management Authority, LOMA, and its other partners. Unofficial garbage sites are still prevalent. Some respondents say there have to be effective enforcement of the law against indiscriminate dumping of refuse.
The drainage system in Lagos currently is bad due to the fact that we have a lot of plastic bags, plastic bottles, and takeaway packs blocking the entire drainage system.
Our society needs to be clean to have a safe and sound health. People are ignorant of what they are doing. It's as if they don't understand that any dirtiness who is in their around or in their surrounding is as if it's in their room or in their parlor. It is very important for us to clear our surrounding. Most of our people are dumping their refuse in the drainage, which is not very, very good.
It's not been that okay. The other day, I think last year, they did some clearing, but when they clear them and keep beside the main road for it to get dry, before you know, 50% of those things they brought out will still go back into the drainage channel.
They called on government at all levels to play their part by providing access to proper disposal of refuse and ensure that persons caught dumping refuse indiscriminately are fined, as this will check the excesses and prevent outbreak of diseases.
They call the people attention in that area, give them notice to clear the drainage because of blockage.
All these trucks that used to pack things, so everybody have to get something or somewhere to be putting the dustbins or the refuse instead of putting it inside the gutter.
When you are going out, when you have any dirt on you, you have to keep it to yourself and make sure you throw it where there is refuge, where you can drop it. I think that is the advice for people.
In Lagos, Ometere Chiedu, NTA News.
A suspected kidnapper of late Anifa Abubakar and his accomplices have been arrested and now in police custody. Muhammad Ali reports that the breakthrough followed an effort by the security agents in Kano State.
Hanifa, a 5-year-old little daughter of Malam Abubakar of Dakata quarters in Kano metropolis, who was kidnapped on the 4th December 2021, where her abductor demanded a ransom of 6 million naira. Since then, security agencies in the state have been up and doing to rescue her, until on 20th January this year, a detective team of the Department of State Services, Kano Command, arrested the suspect, which happened to be her school proprietor.
On the 18th 12, 2021, having realized that the victim recognized him, he claimed to have poisoned her to death, conspired with one Hashim Isiap, took and buried her in a shallow grave located at the private school premises located at Konare, Ghana, to the Murtala quarters, Nasarawa local government of Kano State.
I have killed their daughters. I seriously have regret. Even the moment this girl is dying, I was in shock. I'm very, very sorry about what I did to them. Their life is something precious.
We are expecting from the authority, and what we are reminding them is justice. The punishment should fit the crime.
Samaila Diko further assured of continued efforts of security agencies in the state to track down perpetrators of heinous acts. The suspects will be charged to court. Muhammad Ali, NTA News.
Drug peddlers and traffickers have continued to devise a means to carry out their nefarious actions, but the government is not resting on its words as the fight against drug abuse is yielding results.
Drug abuse is one vice that is stealing and destroying the future of many youth in the country. The potentials of many have been truncated as a result of this vicious trend. Experts say a holistic approach is required to ensure that the ugly trend is nipped in the bud.
Many of these people are on the street, even though they may be functioning in one way or the other, but life has just become very, very meaningless for them.
When we control at our hand, we notice that unregistered premises dispense these drugs at will.
Misinformation leads to increase in use, and then there's a lot of consequences, social consequences, health consequences. So we need to share the relevant information and also have relevant strategies to address this problem.
Agencies in their collaborative efforts are sounding a note of warning to drug traffickers, saying no stone will be left unturned in ridding the nation of such menace.
Using more proactive measures to make sure that we target incoming passengers and know who we should actually waste time on.
It's not about government now. It's not about organizations. It's about let's come out the whole country from families starting, getting back to the basics.
As it is generally believed that the future of a nation depends on its youth, experts say it is time to rise up to the occasion and fully curb the evil of drug abuse in the country. In Lagos, Kenya.
And that's the news. Many thanks for being part of it. I am Anoluwapo Oluwatoki. Good evening.
Nta Station for Excellence.
Are you in search of good home appliances like refrigerators, air conditioners, microwaves, generators, and so many others? Then shop at Hatamako. Number 1 Oyetayo Street, Bolade Ushu, Lagos. We are currently running a trade fair discount from the 1st of November to 31st of December. So hurry now to number 1 Oyetayo Street, Bolade Ushu, Lagos, and shop at the Hatamako. All products are 3 years warranty. We also offer free maintenance on all products purchased from Hatamako.
Ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ ètò lóyin lọ́dún ẹ ó ní àǹfààní láti máa gbádùn gbogbo àwọn abala wa ní gbogbo ọjọ́ àìkú ní aago 9 sí 10 àárọ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti abala lọ́wọ́ ṣíbí níbi tí a ti ń kọ́ àwọn oúnjẹ ilẹ̀ wa ìlera ní ògùn ọrọ̀ ẹ pàdé àwọn dókítà wa lórí abala ìlera ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ eré ìdárayá ẹ
ẹ ó ní àǹfààní láti máa mọ bí ó ṣe ń lọ ní abala eré ìdárayá àwọn ẹ̀ṣọ́ wo ló tilẹ̀ wà níta báyìí ẹ pàdé wa lórí abala ìṣaralóge òwe lẹ́ṣin ọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́ṣin òwe abala òwe kò ní gbẹ̀yìn lórí ètò lóyin ládùn pẹ̀lú bàbá òwe kí ni ohun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ gan tí ẹ fẹ́ kí àwọn ará ìlú mọ̀ nípa ẹ̀ ìgbéyàwó ni tàbí ọjọ́ ìbí oyè jíjẹ ni tàbí ètò ọmọlórúkọ ẹ pè wá fún ìbéèrè tàbí ìpolówó ọjà ẹ bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ lórí àwọn ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ wọ̀nyí tàbí kí ẹ kàn sí wa ní ẹ̀ka ìpolówó ọjà wa ní NTA Lagos Channel 10 Ìṣẹ́jú Oṣó ẹ má gbàgbé o ètò lóyin ládùn ní gbogbo ọjọ́ àìkú láti aago 9 títí di aago 10 àárọ̀ ètò tó ládùn tó lóyin.
Olóyin ládùn lóyin ládùn lóyin ládùn ẹ wo ẹ bá mi pariwo lóyin ládùn lóyin ládùn lóyin ládùn àdùnmọ́ ayọ̀wọ́ ayọ̀wọ́.
Despite the fact that Nigeria has Africa's highest caseload of depression and ranks 15th in the world in the frequency of suicide, according to World Health Organization, many Nigerians still have misconceptions and misbeliefs about mental illness, hence stigmatize people associated with these medical conditions. It is not surprising then that most common beliefs of causes of mental illness among Nigerians, according to research, are supernatural causes. For example, magic, witchcraft, sorcery, and divine punishment.
My own belief, some are they smoke drugs, and then some are spiritual.
Do you know thinking makes someone to believe? When you overthink, you don't have something to believe in. You'll be thinking, how will I get this to work? How will I sustain from today?
I believe in witches and things like that. Some of them, maybe if you do them something, they'll use that one and do you something.
Not every symptom of mental illness is caused by spiritual disease. But I'm not trying to say that you understand that not some level of attacks in spiritually. Because I believe that things like that are but not all.
In the church, because I've seen many of them because that's the church I went to. So I see many of them. So that's the right place for them to.
With these misconceptions and misbeliefs about mental illness, the result is stigmatization of people with mental illness and social distance. As a result, many of the admissions into community-based inpatient psychiatric units and mental hospitals are involuntary.
When you're talking about poor mental health, so many things come together. There are issues that stress, no money, there are problems here and there. All these issues will come up together and give one the bad name.
With high rate of mental problems among Nigerians, traditional medicine is the preferred treatment option for those affected. Hence, the proliferation of illegal rehabilitation centers.
For people who are affected, they need to consult a specialist. They need to go to a hospital. And for mental health especially, they need to consult a everything boils down to that one goal. And a lot of families are not affected. Our religious belief makes people to believe that white Orthodox people cannot do it, and traditional people can do it, or the prayer can do it.
With only 8 federal neuropsychiatric hospitals in Nigeria, it is quite obvious that there is considerable neglect of mental issues in the country. Hence, all stakeholders must intensify efforts.
And station for excellence.